even though paper gold and silver prices in US dollars are still being smashed a lot lately, we are starting to see a number of signs that the bottom is either in or is very, very close to being in. The first article that came out in the last 24 hours is this Reuters article that India is buying enormous amounts of physical gold on these paper price smashes. India's physical gold imports for the month of March were up 471% year over year, an enormous increase. In terms of the dollar amount went from barely above $1 billion in gold imports a year ago to over $8 billion. So that's an enormous increase in physical gold. That is clearly dip buying on the paper price smash. Also, in the last 24 hours, we had a Wall Street Journal article talking about how gold is basically done and how the economy is recovering and people can sell their gold. It's not needed for a safe haven. But isn't that the same argument that the people for Bitcoin are saying? Anyways, normally articles like these in the Wall Street Journal or other major financial industry, mainstream financial industry publications. So normally the more something is talked about in the mainstream financial media, the more likely normally signal major tops or major bottoms. The more likely in terms of probability that a major top or a major bottom is either already happened or it is very close to happening. And an article like this in the Wall Street Journal today on April 1st would signal that this is a contrarian indicator of a bottom for gold prices in US dollars has either already happened or is very close to happening. So we do have a rally in the dollar index, but it is not an enormous rally, not yet. The dollar index is still in a dollar tug of war. It's still in a 6-year give or take trading range. And the other major piece of news is that even though the paper price of silver has been smashed, physical silver is not leaving the Sprott Physical Silver Trust. In fact, physical silver is still coming in to the Sprott Physical Silver Trust. It is over 132 million ounces with another $3 billion worth of physical silver from new units sold with the Securities and Exchange filing that the Sprott Physical Silver Trust can buy of more physical silver. So we'll see if they actually do sell all those units to go and buy $3 billion worth of physical metal in the market. But there is still a pretty good amount of physical silver coming into the Sprott Physical Silver Trust. There is not net selling of metal yet. There is still net inflows of metal, although it is slowing down a little bit compared to the last 6 to 8 weeks. So overall, we are starting to see indicators that the dip buying, whether that is in India with massive dip buying of physical gold, and also the amount of physical gold in China that is being imported is also starting to increase. And over the last 10 plus years that I've been involved covering gold and silver markets and analyzing gold and silver companies, normally when these big spikes in physical metal comes on paper price smashes, in the past that put in within a couple months bottoms in the paper prices. So we are starting to see a lot of dip buying, and it is a very good sign from a contrarian indicator and sentiment standpoint that the bearish sentiment, that the negative sentiment is that bad in the Wall Street Journal. So if the bottom is not in already, the bottom should be in the next few months, just based on sentiment. And sentiment is normally a good indicator for bottom in commodities.